What's up guys, welcome back. So one of the first proper videos I made on this channel was a look at the highest damage abilities in Smite. A lot of people seem to have issues with that video since pretty much every ability I mentioned dealt its damage over a really long period of time. So today we're going to take a look at the highest damage abilities in a single burst of damage. So no damage over time effects or tick damage effects, no additional damage from item passives, nothing like that. Just the raw amount of damage they can do to a single target in a single instance of damage. Since abilities have scaling as well as base damage, I'm going to be assuming a value of 600 magical power for these abilities so we can calculate a real damage number. By the way, there's no need for a physical power value because they're all magical abilities on this list. But without further ado, let's get right into it with number 5. Alright, kicking off the list with number 5 is Vulcan's EARTHSHAKER. This is a pretty iconic burst mage ability, as if you can land it at max range, the damage on it is through the roof and in a massive AoE. While it might be quite hard to land at max range, that's irrelevant here, as we're just looking at the raw damage numbers. You'll find that's kind of a theme throughout the list, since the abilities with conditions are usually more powerful when those conditions are met. But anyway, at max range, Vulcan's ultimate does 880 base damage with 130% scaling, so taking our value of 600 magical power, the total damage for the ability will be 1660. Taking the number 4 spot, we've got Yanis's Through Space and Time. This is another one of those fairly unimpressive at point blank range, but pretty crazy when you can hit it cross map type of abilities. There used to be an even bigger bonus on the distance scaling, but it was changed a while ago. With the old scaling it would have been even higher on the list probably, but for now the ability does 700 base damage with 75% scaling, plus an extra 100% scaling at max range. So with 600 magical power, that gives the ability a total damage value of 1750, just slightly beating out EARTHSHAKER. A slightly less complicated ability takes the number 3 spot. Ymir's Shards of Ice. This one is probably one of the more likely ones on the list to actually be able to deal its full damage. While it's still very hard in a real game to fully charge this ultimate, it's certainly possible. This ability is pretty iconic for being a very high damage ability, and there was a lot of people asking about it on my previous highest damage abilities video. It just turns out that damage over time abilities beat it out pretty easily. But anyway, at full charge, this ultimate deals 1100 base damage and 150% scaling. So using our value of 600 magical power, that gives the ability a total damage value of exactly 2000, which is the first ability to break 2000 damage on the list. Coming in at number 2 is the only non-ultimate ability on the list, Arthash's Corpse Explosion. This ability is very conditional in how much damage it can do. At 0 corpses it's one of the least powerful abilities in the game, but with the max of 6 corpses being exploded all at once, the damage gets pretty insane. Even if it is unrealistic as hell to ever get 6 corpses outside of maybe an objective secure. But this ability deals 130 base damage and 10% scaling as a base value. Pathetic, I know, but it also does 155 plus 25% scaling per corpse. So an extra 930 base damage and 150% scaling from corpses. So in total it deals 1060 base damage plus 160% scaling. Apply our value of 600 magical power to the scaling and we get a total damage value of 2020. Sorry Ymir, this meme of a god beats you out by 20 damage. Before we get to the number 1 spot, I'm going to give honourable mentions to Kukulkan and Scylla with their ultimates, which both deal 800 plus 120% scaling in damage, which by the way will be 1520 damage total, so just a little bit below EARTHSHAKER. And also to Hades' Devour Souls. The reason this isn't an official entry is because as far as I know and as far as I've been told, the damage it can do is actually infinite based on how many minions you could hit with it, so I felt it's just safer to not include it in case that's the case. And the victor of this pointless and arbitrary competition is Isis and her ultimate, Circle of Protection. This is yet another iconic high damage ability. It's often hailed as the best objective secure, hell just the best objective based ability in general, just due to its mitigation, healing, and most importantly for this video, its damage. Circle of Protection deals a whopping 320 base damage with 50% scaling. I know, wow, Arthash has a rival for least impressive entry on the list at face value. But of course this ability can charge up, dealing more and more damage as it charges. At full charge, the ability does 3.5 times damage, meaning the ability can hit for a massive 1120 base damage and 175% scaling in one big burst. Using our 600 magical power value, that gives a total damage output of 2170. Clear of second place by 150 damage. Isis is the clear victor for this list. But anyway, thanks for watching guys. If you enjoyed, leave a like and share the video with your friendos and stuff. Subscribe for more lists, guides, rants, and more stuff coming in the future, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, nerds.